But let's talk to a couple of companies and about a couple of companies. CarTrade Technologies has delivered what is a strong set of earnings for Q1, with revenues jumping 47% on a year-on-year basis. Here to break down the numbers for us and the outlook going ahead is the company's CEO, Consumer Business, Banwari Lal Sharma. Hi, Mr. Sharma. Thank you very much for taking the time out. You know, your average monthly users, in fact, went up quite handsomely. It was up around 25% on a sequential basis. Tell us, what is the outlook for the remaining part of the fiscal? What is the trajectory that we can expect in terms of addition of users for you?
Good morning, Ekta. So the numbers typically for us, they follow a certain trend, as you see. India typically sees pre-festive a certain incline in terms of launches of cars. These launches of cars and bikes typically bring a lot of people, onlookers and buyers, everybody, to understand what exactly is happening. So they would like to know about the cars. And this is precisely, there were good launches, a few good launches that happened last quarter, and that gave us the jump. We see this like a yearly affair. To be very honest, AMJ quarter, the first quarter typically is the lowest for us for any set of numbers, because we have a certain amount of seasonality. The industry doesn't do very well. And monsoon is about to hit. People don't buy cars as much. But the Q2, wherein we see a build up towards festive, and Q3, which typically hosts festive, and then the Q4. This is how the build up happens, and we foresee a very similar trend this year as well.
All right, but you know, when we are looking at your listings, etc., that has declined almost 16% quarter on quarter. Is that again because of seasonality? What's the outlook that you have on that one for this year? And also on volumes via auctions, can you give us a sense?
So, Mangalam, the listings is a function of market demand and supply. As you see, let's say in last few quarters, India has been witnessing a very slow growth on the new car side, because a chip shortage was quite prevailing. Used cars picked up because people had those cars to sell, and the demand was very strong. Now, this decline that you see is a function of number of people willing to sell their cars, which is again a function of number of people looking at buying a new car. So to me, the build up is now happening as far as the Q2 is concerned for the festive, and these numbers we see going up again. Though these are not the numbers, let's say, which is really, let's say, an impact for us as business line item. Typically, we have a couple of big opportunities. One is the OEM spend, which is your digital advertising or advertising in general, which has been going up. Last year, we kind of crossed pre-pandemic levels. And this year, we are expecting something like 15-17% growth on both in terms of OEM spends as well as a digital share within the OEM outlook. So that should help us. As far as auctions is concerned, that particular part of business, I don't really concern. So I would actually refrain from answering that particular part of the question, if you're okay.
Okay, all right. So you don't want to comment on auctions, but you are quite bullish on the used car business. You know, there is a Nomura report which estimates that it'll probably be around 4% of your revenue by FY24. What is it currently, and do you think that's a fair assumption in terms of the used car business?
No, so I think Nomura would have talked about the new business we are launched recently, Upshore.
Yeah.
Used car business is already a much higher percentage in our business. But if we talk about Upshore, that's a massive opportunity for us. Multiple reasons. One, of course, used cars in India has been, let's say, still kind of making its pace. It's still not there because the trust, which is fundamental to buy a used car, is still missing. So when we came up with the idea about a couple of years ago, we thought that let's put Upshore on a platform wherein everybody should be able to buy a car with confidence. And we put all these, let's say, right ingredients. You can take the car, try it for 7 days. If you don't like, return it. A full year of warranty. A comprehensive warranty that we offer, so many, let's say, checkpoints. So that is one business which we've already incubated. We have about 50 locations. We have physical outlets, and we have a full-fledged digital solution out there. That's we are very bullish about. Not to take away credit from the marketplace. We remain to be India's one of largest used car marketplaces, and that business is going to grow multifold as well.
So what's the kind of opportunity that you foresee out here? And secondly, even in the car, your car wale business, etc., what is the kind of opportunity that you foresee? I mean, what is, the annual percentage of car purchases made via your, or car purchases made via going to your platforms, etc., and what would your share be here? Because I'm sure a lot of competitors are looking at this space, and we do have a lot of other companies also, announcing, a lot of the startups, etc., announcing their foray into similar businesses.
So, Mangalam, to be very honest, I think we are very lucky and very well poised to be a dominant player in the new cars and new bikes business. We have one more company as a competition, largely, and then we can call, let's say, Google or Facebook as a competition. But otherwise, I mean, it's not really easy to build a business like this. We sit at 40 million plus monthly visits on Carwale alone, another 20 something, let's say, on Bike Wale, and then we have CarTrade. You put all this together, this takes probably decades to reach where we are sitting today. So it is not a business which can easily be, let's say, replicated, or a startup can come and disrupt. Having said that, the opportunities you asked, fantastic opportunities. Two things which I already talked about. One, the annual OEM spend on, let's say, automotive has been fairly stagnant because India didn't really grow as far as cars were concerned, new cars selling is concerned. We had GST issues, we had BS4 to BS6 transition issues, we had EV confusion in this entire market. All of this is cleared. Tailwinds are now really, let's say, supporting the industry. 5,500 to 6,000 crore of OEM spend on advertising. We foresee to reach something like 7,000, 6,500 crore this year. That is one support. Second, we were always getting about 16 to 18% of digital advertising out of this space. We're getting about 16 to 18%. We foresee that to go to 18 to 20% in a year or two. So to us, these are two big levers on the advertising space. Also, we don't just work with the OEMs. We also work with thousands of dealers on the new car space. And we have personal individual relationships with them, and they continue to grow. So we are quite diversified and quite defensible as far as new car and new bike business is concerned. Mangalam.
Okay, all right. So we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. Well, interestingly, CarTrade, in fact, listed just exactly a year ago on August 20th, and its issue price, to put things into perspective, was over 1,600 rupees. And currently, the stock stands at around 622 rupees.